Hello folks, this is the Black Weasel and today it's the One Piece manga chapter uh 796. So we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. Currently I'm on a different website, so I'm not sure how it goes. Symbol, no. Hold on. I'm on Manga Panda and yeah, I'm on Manga Panda right now. Summer is falling. It's just one of the color pages. Alright. It's chapter 796, the soldier's decision. Now, from where we left off, Kaiju was gonna go up against Eustace Kid, Scratchman, and Pooh, Basil Hawkins. But now on chapter 796, we go towards a different scene. Now, 3 days. The narrator says 3 days after the battle. Somebody asks, "Is Straw Hat Luffy still in the country?" And somebody else says, "Yes, sir, we have confirmed. He sustained some heavy damage." And now this is on the coast of Dressrosa. And who do you know? Look, it's Fleet. No, it's former Fleet Admiral Sengoku the Buddha. He's the Navy headquarters Inspector General. And he looks really different. He has white hair on a gray hair from old age, but he aged really bad in like 2 years. He says, "Issue, I heard all about your conflict with Sakazuki and the bowing." And he starts laughing. Ah ha ha ha! I'm glad I'm no admiral. Now here comes Great Staff Shuru, and she's known as the Great Staff instead of Vice Admiral. She says, "Keep quiet, won't you, you old fart? It must be great being an Inspector General. No responsibilities whatsoever." And then she asks Fujitora, "Why aren't you going after the pirates?" So Sengoku and Shuru are outside. And Fujitora says, "The pirates that were wounded..." He says, "The powers that were wounded badly from trying to save a country. Are we really certain that they are our enemy?" He says, "They are looked upon as heroes in this country, so I shall let them leave as one." And he shows the die towards everybody else. And so Sengoku starts laughing. "A die?" And Shiro said, "This isn't something to laugh about. Did you decide on something like this with that?" That's what Shiro says. And then Fujitora says, "The thing is, I have done nothing to this dice, and the result remained unchanged when I rolled down the second day. Today marks the third day, and again, this is none of my doing." Then somebody else, Fujitora says, "There should be thankful to the gods for their protection. We're still under my jurisdiction, so please let me do my job." Or to Shuru-san. And then Sengoku says, "Hey, I'm right. I'm here too, you know." And somebody else says, "What a right, sir." Then somebody else says, "Then please show us what the Dai plans on giving us today. If anything other than one appears, we'll go after Law Luffy's head." He gives the die towards Shuru's. He gives a die towards Shuru. And somebody else says, "I come for donations." And Fujitora says, "You're here again." And it's a Princess Mancherry. She says, "Yes. Would you please donate?" And somebody else says, what a cute little thing. A dwarf it is." And she says, "I am Mancherry from the Tontara tribe." And Sengoku says, she's a rare sight." And one of the dwarves says, "Show some respect, big people." And one of the dwarves says that Princess Mancherry is the daughter of our leader, Master Tonta. Don't manhandle her like that." And then Mancherry says, "We Tontaras are usually hidden away and can only be seen by those in the royal family. But I wanted to help the people that needed treatment." And somebody else asks, "Oh, how?" Now the scene changes towards on the central uh, st- street in Dressrosa. So we're finally back in Dressrosa after one chapter. No, you guys get the point. Um, Somebody yells out on this day, and it turns out to be Gats. He says, "I like to announce that the king has returned." And Gats says, "That's right. He's finally come back after 10 long years." And the crowd starts chanting, "King Riku, King Riku, King Riku." And some in a different panel, somebody says the country's getting excited, which is King Elizabeth II. And he says, after all the anger and hate towards the pirate, the people who were once considered wealthy and at one point violent have faced the fear of death head on, and now they're working hard to build a peaceful country. And so King Riku says, I think, no, somebody else says it's a joke, really, but not one we can laugh about. And then King Riku says, "Who laugh at something like that? I'm so glad my people all survived." And King Riku says, "However, I wonder if I ever able to make them happy. It would be great if I could be a king that could ward off any future disasters." And King Punch says, "Hey, don't say stuff like that." And he says, "It's a joke." And King Riku says, "I will keep working hard, though. That's all I can do anyway." At least, and he says, "At least until I can the day I can give the throne of mine to Rebecca." And King Elizabeth says, "Are you sure you're okay with that? I still remember Scarlet's stubbornness from her younger days." And King Riku says, what are you trying to tell me?" Now, the scene takes place towards inside the palace. And one of our servants, Rebecca, says, "Oh, how cute. I just thought a lady definitely looks better compared to armor." And Rebecca says, "Ugh." And she also says, "Oh, yes, I heard about your father." And Rebecca says, "Huh?" The servant says, apparently he was a prince from a land far, far away, and he decided to run away with Lady Scarlet. But then King Riku learned of Lady Scarlet's death, and in a flashback, King Riku says, "Why would they say these lies? It was Kiro's decision." Now the scene takes place back to a central street, and somebody asks, "A prince of what country?" And somebody else says, "Don't know. Apparently it was a country that was in the middle of a war, but it had beautiful lakes." And then the whole forbidden love thing, Rebecca's the result. Now, the scene shows Kimon and Kanjoro. And Kimon's carrying double bags of devil fruit stuff. And now the storyteller's still telling the story. But the sad thing was that the prince died in the war and left behind Lady Scarlet and Rebecca. Lady Rebecca. And the same person says, "Hey, but I heard he's living somewhere in this country." And somebody else says, "Oh, really? So the royal bloodline remains then?" Kimon says, "They speak of odd rumors." And somebody says, "Oh, that's Lady Mancheli's medicine." Kanjuro says, "That is good. The men are working hard today as well." I think one of the Marines says, "Please keep it in a single line." And somebody else says, "Thank you. This medicine works wonders. My wounds heal almost immediately." Now, one person puts one of Manchuria's tears on his forehead. And it was bloody at first, but now everything's 100% healed. And then everyone is getting really surprised at it. Now, the scene takes place at the Navy tents. And Sengoku says, I see. So your donation meant blood donation to help with your healing powers." And Sengoku says, "That's a fine ability you have there, the heal fruit, huh?" And Sengoku says, "Alright, I'll help out too." And he says, "I bet my blood could heal at least 10 people." And Princess Manchili says, "Wow, that's really generous of you." And Sengoku says, ah ha ha ha, you're making me blush. Maybe we could heal 20 people? Now the scene takes place back at Kira's home. And somebody else says, let's see, it seems there's a rumor about Lady Rebecca's father being some prince from a land far away floating around the country. And Luffy's awaked. He's crying. No, he's talking with his mouth full. He's saying that what the hell is that story about? And he says, I'm so sad that Sabo was gone. And he also said, we gotta catch up with Sanji soon as well. He's sleeping, he's angry, he's sad, and hungry. And Zoro has the face fault. He says, pick one, not all of them at the same time. Luffy says, Rebecca's dad's the soldier. And Usopp says, maybe he's not that well yet. Why won't you just rest properly? And then Kira says, I was the one that started that rumor. The only people knew about Rebecca were the royals and the Don Quisu family. The rest of the citizens only knew of her mother. He says, I chose to go with that rumor before anyone found out I was their father. And Robin asks why. And Kira says, I have a record, and to be honest, a very dark past. He says, I knew I was never meant to be tied to a royal family, so this is for the best. And Luffy says, no way, it is. Rebecca knows everything. And then Kira says, I sent her a letter. She should have gotten by now, telling her everything about me. Kira says she might hate my decisions now, but she's still a child. I don't want her to sacrifice her future in the heat of the moment. Riku understands as well. And then Zoro and Usopp look at Luffy like he's not buying the idea of it at all. That's what they both think in their heads. And then Bartholomew runs towards Kiro's house. At the same time, Den Mushi is dialing right now. Bartholomew says, Zoro Senpai. Well, Luffy Senpai, your way, Gomoni. He's really surprised. And it turns out the person on the other line of Den Mushi is Leo. He says, Captain, Lord Heroes, this is Leo. And then Bartholomew says, whoa, all 5 members of the Straw Hat Pirates are here. They're too bright for me. I can't even see. They're like a laser beam of greatness. He says, damn, if I ever get the chance to see all of them together, my eyes will burn right out of their sockets. And then Zoro says, just get on with it, will you? And Bartholomew says, there's movement in the Navy's tent. This place isn't safe anymore. And he says the great staff Lieutenant General Shuru and the former Admiral Sengoku have arrived. And then Frankie says, Shuru and Sengoku? And Usopp yells out, what the hell are they doing here? Just go home already. And then Law comes to his mind. In his mind, he's thinking about Sengoku. And Kiru's asks about Leo, like, what's going on there? And then Leo says, that officer's on the move now. He's probably referring to his issue. And he rolled his dice out, and it lands on a 6. And then Fujitora says, men, it is time for us to round up Straw Hat Luffy and his gang, Trafalgar Law, and the criminals hiding in the palace. And then he announced that and bring them back with us. And then one of the Marines yells out, but sir, we don't have permission to get into a palace. And he says, it doesn't matter. The responsibility is all mine. Just go on. And the Marines yell out, yes, sir. And then Kyrus yells out, the Navy's coming. And then Usopp's yelling out, they're here. And Kimon says, why are you afraid now? We have prepared our escape beforehand, and are good to go. And he said, we're just waiting for Luffy, don't know to get better. And the Kanjuro says, that is right. It's odd to think that an enemy took this long to come. All we need now is a ship. And then somebody else says, that's the point, no ship. And the Kira asks Leo, have you done what I asked you to? And then Leo says, of course, it is as you ask. Birdman, they seem to be heading for the palace as well. The warriors are in trouble. And then Bartholomew says, alright, thanks for worrying about me, little one. Looks like the Navy's got his eyes on us too. And the Marines also said, move aside, get the pirates. And Bartholomew said, this is going to be a tough one to get out of. And one of the civilians yell, Lucy as well? And then Bartholomew says, Luffy, Senpai, sirs, follow me. I'll take you to the eastern port. He says, we've been waiting all... Oh, what time am I at? We've been waiting all this time for you so that you can escape. The moment you're ready. He says, your comrades are already waiting in their places. We got a ship ready in the eastern port. So there is Sai. There is somebody else. There's Cavendish. Frankie says, oh yeah, how about thanks? We're in quite some trouble since we sent something ahead of us. And somebody else says, we're comrades that have fought together. And somebody yells out, like hell, I'll let them take our king at this point. The Marines yell out, they're coming, get them. The door is open. And Luffy gets surprised. Yeah, you know, Bellamy is somewhat healed from Doflamingo's attacks and Delanier's attacks as well. He asks him, you can stand, Bellamy? And Bellamy says, hey, I can run even now. I can't even run now. He says, yeah, oh, that's great. And then Bellamy asks Law, why didn't you kill me? Now I lost a chance to die. Law says, Straw Hat Yacht told me he was friends with you, so I brought you here anyway. But if you want to die, go someone else and do it. And then Bellamy says, I'm all well now because of that Lord of Dwarf's power, so why should I die at the hands of the Navy now? Then Law says, well, you can think of something then, idiots. Don't think I'll thank you for this, duh. And Bellamy yells out, what? And then Bartholomew says, alright, this isn't the time to be fighting, we have to go. And the Marines yell out, fire! So Bartholomew says, this way, guys. Somebody yells out, damn it. And Bartholomew says, it's all over if Fujitora catches us. So keep together. Make sure no one is left alone. And then Luffy stands alone. Bartholomew yells out, Luffy, Senpai. Then Luffy says, I think I got some things to settle. You guys go on ahead. What? And then the scene goes back to the palace. And somebody tells that, Lucy and the rest are. And then Violet says, they're being pursued. Maybe they have escaped. And Rebecca says, no, I haven't thanked Lucy yet. And there's a shot of Ushuru, and Fujitora says, let's see, if your luck has run out or not, Allow me the honor of testing it, and that's the end of that. Fujitora is after Luffy and most of the warriors in general. So like this was a good chapter in general. Yeah, been after like 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, since Doflamingo has been defeated, there's scenes from everything around us. Last week, last week, was Kaiju against Yusuf, against Kid, Apu, and Hawkins. So yeah, next chapter will be unpredictable.